Well, I did say I would take a quick look at my bikes as they are at the moment. So yeah, I don't know what we're going to do, because I mean I did look at this one when I first got it, and I've only really got about 10 minutes of memory card left, but it has changed a bit since I got it. So if I can get it away from here one-handed, which is not easy because it's really heavy, we will have a quick look. Yeah, I mean obviously since the video the day I got it, it has had a new saddle, but it's the same model. As you can see there, it is a Brooks B33 saddle. Still not 100% sure on who made this bike. There isn't much left of the head badge. I've thought Hudson, Enfield, could be anything, but it seems to use BSA fittings. It's not a rally bicycle or one of their many subsidiaries. It has the all-weather mud guards, which I believe are a BSA part at least. No detailing left. A lot of dust there. It's ridden. Rod brakes. Somebody I think replaced the bottom bracket set at some point, so I've put what I believe to be the original size on, 46 to, I can't remember, 19 I think. And I did replace the entire wheel, so that is a Sturmey Archer AW8, which is a little bit new for this bike. It's 1938. It's a very early Sturmey Archer AW. Of course we replaced a K6. It's nice and smooth. Even missing a part, it is running smooth and it is rideable. I just wouldn't go for, yeah, I'll let go of the pedals, watch. That is a well-oiled hub. My servicing is great. Yeah, we're missing a piece at the moment in there, because they changed the axle design, and the axle I put in is from 1990, so who would have thought that would work? They had to replace a piece of the clutch. There's the gear shifter. It's 3-speed, and I can change gear when I'm not moving, which is probably a foreign concept to some people. Yeah, that does do weird things with the pedals sometimes, as you can see. There's even there you go. When I start changing gear, it will cause them to move around a bit. See? It's a bit weird. So yeah, I can change gear when I'm not moving. It's the advantage to these epicyclic gearboxes. Yeah, lighting works fine. There is a B and a D. B gives us batteries, and it's on LEDs and rechargeable batteries, so they last a long time. The wire on that one's a bit shit, I'm going to have to mend it. And there is also D, which is a bigger bulb and relies on the dynamo, and I have a relay system that will switch automatically, but I've removed it for the time being. That is a, I believe it's a Lucas dynamo. It is. I saw this lighting kit go for £300 on the internet. Interestingly, that one did not have the original glass in the front lamp though, so I don't know how much mine is worth. If anything, it's probably worthless, and that's not an original feature, so it just tells me what I'm doing. Let's have a look at the Rally Tourist. One thing I should point out is I am replacing that axle and probably the whole crank set there, both pedal arms, because it's quite worn. It's had a hard life. It lived in the country, it belonged to a farmer, hub was full of mud, the whole thing was. So let's move it. Give me a second, I'll get both hands on it. Let's try. It doesn't weigh as much, this one. This is a touring bike. It is a Rally Tourist, circa 1937. It has 28 by 1.5 Westwood wheels. These are huge wheels. They're, well, the other bike, they're a little larger than an average wheel, 26 inch. And you can see these are considerably larger. They're a bit daft, really. They're nice, long, low riding front wheel. It's a very comfortable ride. Brooks B66 saddle, which is what Rally fitted on, although this had a saddle off a Hummer bicycle from the 50s when I got it, which was horsehair padded and was falling to pieces. It's somewhere over here, but I don't want to disturb my lovely spider that lives in there, so I won't put my hand through its web. Yeah, let's see. Nothing too remarkable. It's not dissimilar to the other one. Same gear shifter. That bell's from the 50s. Does work, but somebody's obviously lent on it. I could mend it if I could be bothered, but I'm running out of memory card. K7 hub on this. It runs a bit rough, but that's the crank axle. I think the bearings are going in it. Pedals are good though, but I'll probably replace them because the rubber's worn. I did bust my new Atlas ones, so that's on. I think they're from the 70s. Yeah, nice chain guard. I never showed you the accessory. That is 1940s iron pump. It's not made out of brass. And it was cheaper as a result, but I actually prefer iron as a metal, so we'll go with that. Frames here are bolted, both of them. In fact, this entire back section would come off, so that is quite useful for repairs. I'm missing the caps. Nobody ever has those. I've seen some with them in. Those aren't the original calipers. I do have them, but it's hard to get brake pads to fit, which ironically the ones I've just put in not long ago do. But I do keep all the original pieces. They're in a bag, separate one for each bike, so we can always put them back if we have to sell it. The panniers are good. That one's had a bit of a beating. It's still there, still going strong. This one does not have electronic lights. In fact, it's got no lights on it at the moment. But I shall rectify that in just a second, because it just so happens I have those on my bench here. That is the front lamp. That is a Lucas Silver King from about 1926, I think, that one. And that is a Miller, and it's a bit dodgy. And that glass cracked on the anniversary of the Titanic sinking last year. So I can remember when that happened. I don't know how it happened. Possibly heat, which has probably devalued it because they're worth a bit more with the original glass. It's a bit of a shame, but I'd rather it got used and broke that way than just rotted in a museum, as we might see shortly. See if I can get these working. I should be back momentarily. Yeah, quite simple really. That piece there lifts off. Paraffin goes in there, although this one has a little cap on the back. My paraffin container won't fit that. There's a lens at the back which reflects and magnifies, and that lens in the front magnifies. Throws the two side ports. And of course you have a chimney. It was quite easy to mount lights back then. See, all you had to do in the case of this one, that's why that's called a lamp bracket, because the lamp simply slots onto it, except you might have to adjust the device ever so slightly, but it will slot on there, and then all you have to do is tighten it up, and that won't come off now. It requires some adjustments. Okay, let's get this thing lit. It's not particularly difficult. The wick winder turns the wick up, and consequently should also the flame. And you get the match on the go. And then be ready to turn it down, because if you've got smoke coming out, you're burning the thing itself, and there's a very distinctive smell to these. It's a quite a nice smell, and they do get hot, and I do not condone lighting them indoors because your head will spin. And that one's quite dull. I can turn it up a bit more. but then of course it's going to start ploughing out smoke, and then you have to find a balance, but they will adjust over time. This one doesn't burn right, so we're going to turn it down to stop it bursting into flames, because it has done that before. You get those matches out of there. Woohoo! Woohoo! Nice. The front one here, wick winders that side. It is much the same, and it's surprisingly bright. You should just be able to make light out on there. So you put them out, it's quite easy. I'll just blow them out most of the time. This one tends to condensate quite quickly. But yeah, that is paraffin lamps. Smells a bit like diesel. So yeah, those are quite good. Now there's that one last bike, and I will be quick on that. And this is a lady's bike. It's a Phillips bicycle with a step-through frame, and the reason they call it that is, as you can see, it doesn't have conventional crossbar, and the lady would step through it, so she wouldn't be showing her knickers to the world when she mounts the bike. It's a bit small for me, but this was bought for my mother, who can't ride a bike at the moment, and she might never be able to ride one again, but if she can have this. If not, then I need to find a lady to ride it. It was single speed, and I do have the original wheel hub that I had the man at Richardson's down the road. That is the local cycle shop. Good guy, and does it a decent price. Put me a Stamy Archer AW in from 1949, I think this one was, yes, which I think is about the age of the bike, and obviously I set up the cabling and such with a proper quality shifter. It's 3-speed now, 26 by 1 3/8, and those are 26 by 1 1/2, and they're not interchangeable. So yeah, these are Westwood wheels as well, not the can't remember what they call the ones now. Electric Phillips lighting, needs some repairs. Has the original head badge, has a lot of its details intact. Look at that. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous bike. It's in lovely condition. Phillips true temper steel. Needs a bit of a dust, and I'll have to modify the lights to run on batteries also. And I've got about 30 seconds, so let's make it quick. Shitty gel saddle, we'll chuck that out and put a B63, or is it 76, I don't know. But look at that metal work, that is gorgeous. The rally chain wheel is not dissimilar, it resembles that one back there, but that one takes the cake in my opinion. That is some lovely metal work, I really appreciate that. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, when someone asked, was it Wayne Kerr, or could have been, I don't know, I'm not sure, and I apologise for forgetting, but whoever it was, yeah, now you see my bikes, I'm a high treason. Now let's have a look around the museum.